ISF filing, navigating import restrictions. Welcome back to our customs brokerage video series. In today's episode, we will be discussing an important aspect of customs clearance: the importer security filing, ISF, and its restrictions for goods that are subject to import restrictions based on historical, cultural, or national interest. Let's dive in. Before we dive into the restrictions, let's briefly go over what the importer security filing, ISF, is. The ISF is a requirement by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, that mandates the filing of specific information about goods before they are loaded onto a vessel destined for the United States. This filing is crucial for security purposes and allows CBP to assess the risk associated with each import. Now, let's address the question: are there any restrictions on filing the ISF for goods subject to import restrictions based on historical, cultural, or national interest? The answer is yes, there are certain restrictions in place. When importing goods that fall under these categories, it is essential to be aware of any additional requirements and restrictions that might apply. These restrictions can vary depending on the specific goods and the countries they are coming from. One common restriction is the need for an import license or permit. Some goods that carry historical, cultural, or national significance may require special permission and documentation before they can be imported. These licenses or permits are typically issued by the relevant governing authorities or regulatory bodies of the respective countries. For example, if you are importing a cultural artifact or an antique, you may need to obtain an export permit from the country of origin. This permit ensures that the item is not illegally obtained and can be legally exported. Failure to obtain the necessary permits may result in delays, penalties, and even the seizure of the goods. Another restriction to consider is the potential need for additional documentation to demonstrate the authenticity or provenance of the goods. Customs officials may require supporting documents such as certificates of authenticity, export certificates, or invoices to verify the historical, cultural, or national significance of the goods. It is crucial to work closely with a licensed customs broker who is experienced in handling customs clearance for goods subject to import restrictions. They can guide you through the necessary steps, help you gather the required documentation, and ensure compliance with all regulations to avoid any potential issues. Furthermore, when importing goods subject to import restrictions, you may also need to provide a customs bond. A customs bond is a financial guarantee that ensures compliance with all customs regulations and obligations. It acts as insurance for the government in case any duties, taxes, or penalties are not paid, or if any regulatory breaches occur. The requirement for a customs bond is not unique to goods subject to import restrictions based on historical, cultural, or national interest. It is a standard requirement for most imports into the United States. However, the bond amount may vary depending on the value, type, and nature of the goods being imported. Customs bonds can be obtained through licensed surety companies, and they provide an added layer of protection for both the importer and the government. By obtaining a customs bond, importers demonstrate their commitment to compliance and ensure the smooth flow of goods through the customs clearance process. When it comes to filing the importer security filing, ISF, for goods subject to import restrictions based on historical, cultural, or national interest, there are certain restrictions and additional considerations. These may include the need for import licenses or permits, additional documentation to verify authenticity, and the requirement for a customs bond. Working with a knowledgeable customs broker is essential to navigate these complexities and ensure a successful customs clearance process. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for our upcoming videos where we will continue to explore the world of customs brokerage and international trade. Disclaimer note below. See you soon!